Good morning, YouTube. Savage 64F 64 multicam. Not the same rifles. Okay? Stocks are different, yes, but they're also not the same rifle because this is a 64F. The crowns are different completely. 100% not the same. So they're not the same. But both exhibit the same stock issues where the last quarter inch pinches the barrel, which means it will not sit flat on the stock, which means you shoot high. Okay, so it's going to be a problem with open sights, obviously. With a scope, you could dial it in, but you're still going to have accuracy issues overall, so you got to fix that. And I'm going to show you guys in this video how to fix that problem because, well, this thing went back to Savage, the 64F here, and because it had a lot of accuracy issues, even with it wouldn't sight in, period. And I also tried a scope on it, and even that didn't work. It was just a piece of shit. So they said they found nothing wrong with it, according to the thing they sent me on my RMA report. They said they ran 3 mags through it, so 30 rounds of CCI standard, no accuracy issues. Then, of course, we tested that for you guys, and, well, they're full of shit, obviously. So this thing had some issues still yet, one of which is it would not even feed paper from the front to the back, and this is a free floater, and it's supposed to, okay? So I took it apart this morning, and I found out that this bolt here, well, it stayed behind inside the stock. So I had to actually take pliers, grip for dear life, and crack it free, because somebody over-torqued the shit out of this thing at some point. And it wasn't me, because I never touched anything on this, okay? It was just a turd ball. Anyways, so they dealt with the gun. The front bolt came out fine. Now these are H6, by the way. These 3 are all H6 bits, okay? And to remove your main bolts, they're an H4, all right? Just so you're aware. Now, this thing has some issues with the stock. And I've been working on it a little bit off and on this morning, trying to get this video done, but without failure. So I figured, you know what? I still got to do a bit more cleanup. Let's do it on video and show you how to do it. So I've got some emery cloth here that I found in my shop a few minutes ago, and it's going to take down this plastic a lot better and faster. So we're going to just fold it a little bit, and what we want to do is we want to go inside this area. That back quarter is a big part of it, but we also need some spacing along the sides. Okay? And we want to try and keep this as even as we can. But we got to get these sides a little wider, okay? Especially in the back area. That's a big thing. And this emery cloth is a little bit of a coarser grit, which is fine because it'll take it down a bit better. And you want to try and go inside the wall a little bit too, right? This back area is very important because if this back area doesn't sit right either, then you're still going to be shooting high. And the idea behind free floaters, it's a whole thing about harmonic frequencies and all this other bullshit. Now, it's great for long-range accuracy because that's the idea of why these things are more accurate than a traditional put-together firearm for long-range shooting. So the story goes. How much bullshit we're going to believe from the world, who knows, but I've shot both platforms, and I do have to say that there are a lot of advantages to the free-floating system, but there are disadvantages as well. Like you can bump your gun and knock your alignment off a lot faster and easier on a free floater than you would on a traditional built rifle that has, you know, tighter bolt system here as well as barrel bands, right? Which these don't have. You're at 20 inch-pounds per screw on these things to hold the whole damn thing into the stock. So, but we want to get this cleaned up really good. And if you go a touch wider on one side than the other, as long as they have relatively close to the same amount of width gone, you're going to be fine. The paper has to go through smooth and come out smooth. The other problem is your front end, and this one had a front end issue, okay, where I couldn't even get the paper to go in, period. Okay, so we're going to clean that track up a little bit. Get it in there just right. And we're going to make that a little bit wider at the front, a little tiny bit deeper. Because it doesn't matter, it's a free floater. Don't worry about it. And if you stay within the edges properly, you won't even notice that you took sandpaper to your gun. Yeah, this I gotta take from the front side. This area is probably one of your most important spots, right back in here. Other than the rest, but this is really important because this is where I had the most problems with that one shooting high. Okay. Oh, that's a mess. All right. You know, we will be taking this to the range to test it, by the way. That's a given. I'll take my rag. There's still a little bit of oil left on this, so we'll pick up that shit. There you go. Nice and clean. Give our barrel a bit of a wipe down here too while we're at it. All right, so these guns have notorious problems, it would seem, on their synthetic stocks not being milled out or, well, milled out properly or preformed, however the hell they do it. But it is critical for bolt placement too, because you notice this moves front and back a bit. Okay, so pick up your gun, make sure that drops and seats. Now, both of these bolts are the same. I'm just kind of OCD. I like to take things and put them right back where the same spots. So that's just me. So get that in there. These goes fingers tight. Like I said, all synthetic rimfire guns from Savage are 20 inch-pounds. Okay? All of their wood stocks in their rimfires are 15 inch-pounds. I like this tool because I can program it to whichever one I need, up to 9 guns. And we'll clear that out. Reset. .3. That's okay. 0.3 is not a big deal. All right. So now, if everything worked fine in Texas, I'm in Ontario, Canada, by the way. Come on, shut off. All right, there we go. Now, well, that worked out. Because if you remember when we got this back, the thing was still shooting like crap. Woo! Honey! Now we're talking. Look at that. Now, let's see how well it works with a double up. I can fold this 3 times on my Mark II, and it still slides perfect. But that's wood stock too. Oh, that's wonderful. That's what we want to see. That is fantastic. Okay, so problem solved. That's how you fix it on a free-floating system. Now, let's talk about the rest of the content of the video. So, I got it back. They said 3 mags, 30 rounds, CCI standard, no accuracy issues. We proved them wrong. Okay, even with open sights, I'm not that shit of a shot, but I still should have gotten a decent grouping. And we got nothing good. Okay, so when I checked it this morning, because I just got back from my hunting trip last night, okay? So I checked it this morning, 3 a.m. I got up, so about 4-ish, 4:30. Let's pull it out and let's work on this and shoot a video while we're at it, because I've been away for 4 days. So anyway, I couldn't even get the paper in there, period. Okay, so I've been dicking around with this thing off and on. But when I first took it apart, that one main bolt that holds the mag well with the screw, that bolt stayed inside with my screw. And I'm like, that's not supposed to happen. Now, you've seen videos where they say that does happen. No, they're wrong. They did their video wrong because they don't understand the gun. I've seen other videos where, yep, the screws come out, all the other shit should stay behind, because they also use an H6. The H6 is what you use for the 3 main ones inside to remove and tighten. Now, because we don't have any torque specs for the internal ones, I just went ahead and set it to 20, because it doesn't matter. It's holding the mag well in place and it holds the screw to the stock. But even at 20 inch-pounds, it's more than tight enough that even when I put this to 20 inch-pounds and pull it out, these screws keep coming in and out without an issue, okay? In fact, I've had this gun apart about 5 times now, tweaking this friggin' slot, and now we've got it perfect. So that's making me happy. Now we got a proper free-floating system. So that's the way it should be. That's not the way this gun was. So for them to say that they found no problems and no accuracy issues, they were full of crap. I don't even think they even did anything with the gun, to be honest, other than they sent it back, gave me a brand new mag with it. So now I have 2 mags, the one that came with it. And I marked my mags too that come with the gun. I mark them usually with a sticker. Okay, so this mag is out of that gun, so I haven't marked it yet. But this yellow sticker is actually the original mag, but the brand new one is in the case. Okay, but that's how I mark them, so I know which one's the original. So if I have a failure of a mag, because I've heard of these mags failing, but I also look at wear and tear that happens, you know, that sort of thing, right? So at least I'll know, right? So a little sticker doesn't hurt nothing. I don't give a shit. This one I haven't marked yet, but I got to use a different color on this one, and that's fine. It's not a big issue. Come on, there we go. Now, as far as the cleaning goes, they say every 1,000 rounds to clean the bore, but they don't say anything about this. So I talked to a buddy of mine who's a gunsmith and machinist, and he said about every 500 rounds, clean your action area out. About every 500 to 1,000, do your barrel, okay? It's kind of up to you, though. I mean, you're going to know when this thing is getting wackoed, because you're going to start probably stovepiping, or you're not going to have a proper ejection, and that ammo was working perfect, and it doesn't matter which batch lot. It should still eject properly. If you're having a bunch of stovepiping going on and you're having just, you know, jam-ups, period, stuff like that, it's time to clean this whole mechanism, which means you take the entire gun apart, take the barrel off, take all the shit off there, whole trigger assembly, mag well, you take out the friggin' bolt system, all that, and you clean it thoroughly. Everything, including the inside of the main receiver. Now, these have the upgraded receivers on them, so they don't have the problem receiver where that back piece here was plastic. This is all steel now. So these are the upgraded, they are the better versions. Even Savage said these are the better versions, right? Which means you shouldn't have any issues. But, I mean, hey, you can have issues. I don't know what they did to the gun exactly, but some of the issues I did report are no longer happening, but bullshit about not having an accuracy issue, as we discovered, okay? So, and then I discovered more this morning about somebody really torqued the crap out of stuff here, but at the same time, this stock is definitely a problem, because I couldn't even get paper through the front to go anywhere. So I started cleaning up a little bit here, a little bit there, and I still had a few little issues back in here. Now it's all clean. We just did that for you. You saw how to do it. You can use sandpaper, you can use files, whatever is in your arsenal that can carve down at that plastic, but you don't want to take too much off, okay? You just want to take off enough to create enough space that the paper folded in half will still go through, but especially as a single sheet, it's got to go through perfect. And if I look down here now, I can see that there are no spots that I can see. So let's get the flashlight on there. I can see absolute perfect spacing. Even on the sides, it's sitting down there. So we had to knock out these 1/4-inch areas. We just had to get them away. Now you're still going to have a little underscore lip that can still be there, and that's fine. It's the sides that were the problem. And that is sitting absolutely great. I mean, if I wanted to go a little further with it, I could make this small area here just a hair deeper, but it's not necessary. And all that's got really good clearance. That's got really good clearance. And that's what we need to see, okay? Now, because this is a tapered barrel, this could throw you off a little bit, what we're going to show you next, and that's the height measurement. And so that's why I said you could go a little further on that one spot, but you don't really need to. So we go to the front. Now, that is sitting, well, that's proper. And that's where we set it at the edge. That's sitting absolutely perfect. So we don't have to even go down deeper. We're absolutely perfect. So it's exactly the same front to back. So even though it's tapered, we can still measure it and it's the same. That steeper tapering happens more from about this point on. This is more consistent in this area. So, but that's good. We did a perfect job. Anyway, so that's what you got to do if you have any issues with that. Because if you're shooting high and this is at the bottom, which we had with this thing, that means that everything's sitting up on an angle like this. And that's caused from this backside especially, but you could have frontal issues. But I wasn't having any front and not so much on the sides at all, okay? Even though I still widened them a little bit. But it was back in this last 1/4-inch area here, that was bad because the barrel was being left up, okay? It wasn't allowed to sit flush the way it should, and now it does. So now it's fine, okay? So this should now shoot better than what it was. And we'll take it to the range and show you guys what kind of results we get now. But that's what you've got to do if you have any of these Savage 22 rimfire guns, synthetic or wood stock. You may have that with issue. But you also got to make sure all your bolts are tight too. So don't worry about taking some time. Pull the bolts out. Check those 3 underneath, including the regular screw on the mag well. Make sure they're all just snug by hand. Now, like I said, I set mine to 20 inch-pounds on the one that stayed in the stock. I took a rough guess, but it is steel to steel, so you don't have to do more than just snug it, because that's all it needs to be. But I went 20. I figured that should be good. And I've been at 20 front and rear here, and I can pull them in and out, and it doesn't affect that one at the back that had the issue to start with when I first took it apart for the first time today. So, because my theory is when you get a brand new rifle, you don't screw with it. If you have an issue, you send it back to them, you tell them what's going on. Now, if they say they can't find anything, especially this whole ordeal with Savage on this one, they said they couldn't find anything, but that's all we were told. You know, I said, well, what about the rear sight vibrating off? Well, he may have replaced it and just not told us. So it may have been a loose one, and maybe he just put a brand new one on. Because you can't fix them, they're spring steel. You'll just shatter them trying to make them snugger. So he probably did put a new one on because this one has not moved with all the shots I've taken. So he may have done that, which makes sense. And he set it up higher. But at what range did he shoot at? Because this was like in the middle, and we were shooting way high. So, and they're not shooting 100 yards in the factory. They can't be shooting more than 25 yards anyways, or even 20. But who the hell knows? We don't know. So, but it's on the second notch, and that was fine for the last time we took it. Now we should be even much lower. So 25 yards should be really, really good at this. And then we just got to worry about left and right. So I recentered this anyways because doing this work affects left and right. It affects up and down. So, but I'm not going to mess with the up and down, but I recentered my left and right. We'll try CCI standard again, see how it goes. So there's not a lot to really know about these guns other than to properly take them apart, knowing what to expect when you do take it apart for the first time. And what you do notice, if you know that one back bolt or even the front one stays in the gun and it shouldn't, well, then you've got some issues there. And it took a pair of pliers, literally, to go inside the stock and crack it free from that. And that should not have happened. So I don't know if that was factory that way, if they even took the stock out. I have no clue, okay, what they did. I was not there when they worked on it. But now everything is the way it should be. Because when I took this one apart, and I have had it apart a few times, these screws came out perfect, okay? And just the screws like they should. This one was not. So something was not right, and when I couldn't even run paper into the front, I knew something else was wrong, which obviously is the stock. Now we've repaired all of this, and now we just need to test it. So just to give you some help with at least your rimfire guns, okay? Especially these Savage 64s, because they're nice guns, okay? But you're not going to get pinpoint accuracy out of a semi-auto. You want that, you buy a bolt action, okay? The Mark II GXP is a magnifique, yeah. Mine particularly will run Ely contacts. You can try the Ely contacts out yourself if you have a Mark II G series rifle or a GXP like mine, because you know even the crowns on these are not even in the same universe together. And that's why this is a 64 and this is a 64F. They're not exactly the same. The stocks are, other than one's a left stock, one's a right, but you know, and the receivers seem to be the same, but they've designated this as 64 multicam 64F. So that gives you a little bit of separation there. This is 230, I think it was 235 or 239 Canadian. This one, because it's left-handed, costed me it should have cost me $329, but they split the difference because they just had a price hike in it. So she split the difference with me and gave me 40 bucks off, okay, which was great. But the right-handed bolt version of the 64F is 259 Canadian, okay, is what it goes for. Now, that's at Ollie's Armory in Powassan. It's like a couple minutes up the road from me. And that's where I buy all my guns right now. And I definitely buy all my ammo there because they're cheaper than everybody for the most part. So, but anyway, that's what we got on this video for you. Stay tuned for more. We will take her out to the range and see how she handles. Also stay tuned too, because I just got back from my hunting trip and I got some stories to tell you guys. So it may be a bit of a video, but I think you're going to really enjoy the stories that we got out of that trip. That was fantastic. And we did come home with a lot of grouse too. Anyways, see ya.